Welcome to the Henry B. Plant Museum's mini tour. I'm Curator of Education Heather Truby Brown. In this segment, we will be introduced to Henry Plant, the railroad and steamship magnate who was responsible for building the 1891 Tampa Bay Hotel, and learn about his transportation network of railroads, steamships, and hotels called the Plant System. But let's learn a little bit about Henry first. He was born in 1819 in Branford, Connecticut, into a farming family. At a young age, Plant decided that he wanted to start working on steamships. He got a job as a captain's boy working to be in charge of the express package business. That means he was responsible for making sure all the packages made it onto the ship safely, were secured during the journey, and then once in port, were offloaded safely. He demonstrated such a great ability at that his supervisors continued to offer him promotions, so that in 1854, he was offered the position of superintendent of the Adams Express Company's Southern Division of Transportation. He transferred to Augusta, Georgia. Things were going really well for Henry up until 1861. Do you know what happened in 1861 in American history? That's right, the American Civil War. It was a time when the northern states and the southern states couldn't agree on things, and they went to war. Now, Henry Plant was a northerner working for a northern company in the South. Thinking about that, what do you think Henry might have decided to do? Well, Henry saw this as an opportunity. He decided that he would purchase the southern division of the Adams Express Company and run it, and he renamed it the Southern Express Company. And he ran this company throughout the Civil War. After the war, when a lot of railroad lines were going bankrupt, Plant saw that opportunity to purchase the bankrupt lines and connect them to his transportation network called the Southern Express Company. Plant's Southern Express Company extended throughout South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and started to extend into Florida. At the time, Henry Plant saw Florida as having a lot of great opportunity, but unfortunately not a good transportation network. So again, seeing an opportunity, Plant started to lay railroad tracks into Florida and purchase smaller lines to connect them to his ever-expanding network. In 1884, Henry Plant brought the railroad into Tampa. The railroad's arrival in Tampa was a huge economic benefit for the area. Prior to the railroad arriving, Tampa was just a small fishing village. What do you think happened in Tampa after Henry Plant brought the railroad to the community? You're right, Tampa began to grow. The people who lived and worked here were able to export their goods to much further away markets and in much greater quantities. Also, more people now had better access to the area. Thinking about Florida, what are some of the products you think benefited from the railroad? You're right. The fishing industry, the cattle and lumber industries, even agriculture, such as celery, strawberries, and citrus, all benefited from the railroad. Can you tell me why? Think about this. If you're a farmer who's trying to get your product, such as oranges, to market, which mode of transportation might you use? If you're trying to move a lot of oranges, which can carry more, the train or a horse-drawn cart? The train. Which can go faster, a train or a horse-drawn cart? The train. Which one can go further, the train or the horse-drawn cart? You got it, the train. And which one will get tired sooner, the train or the horse-drawn cart? Absolutely, the horse. Now, after Plant had built the railroad, he was also looking for a deep water port because he remembered starting out working on steamships. So he looked at the port 9 miles south of downtown Tampa, and he thought, this port really has a lot of potential, but right now it's not big enough to handle large steamships like I worked on when I was younger. But if I could extend my railroad down to the port, dig out the port, and also put my railroad extended out a little bit into the water, those big steamships could have direct access to the trains, to the railroads. And that's what he did. He developed the port, and there you see in this picture how the trains came right down and ships and trains could transfer cargo very easily. Once he did that, he thought now tourists certainly have a very easy way to get to Tampa, either by steamship or train. But they didn't have a great place to stay. So that's where Plant got the idea that he would get into the hotel business. And he had a total of 8 hotels in Florida. His first hotel is pictured here, and it was called the Inn at Port Tampa. See how it's over the water? The story, one of the advertising promotions said that guests could go fishing out of the window, catch a fish, and give it to the cook to serve up for breakfast. But out of all of Plant's 8 hotels, his grandest and most magnificent was the Tampa Bay Hotel.